What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. If you've got LUNC, consider delegating with our validator, links below in the description. I must say it's been a very hard few months, especially getting through October with the market absolutely bleeding its heart out. We've got Do Kwon moving crazy amounts of Bitcoin, around $62 million. Meanwhile, his wife is securing crazy amounts of assets, valuing to around that $177 million range. So it's really tough being in the LUNC community. We've got TFL who are no longer going to have the ability to support any future chain upgrades. As we get closer to that October 31st date, we actually get ourselves closer to the inability TFL will have to even go in and burn any of those wallets that we've been speaking about. So I think the time to become actionable is definitely now. And if we're able to go in and burn any of these assets, we should do it with due diligence. And the other thing that's currently underway is the redemption of wrapped assets, and whatever remains will simply be burnt. And when we're talking about the substantiality of these wrapped assets, by no means is it a small amount. You're talking about a possible $250 billion LUNC and around 177 million USTC. On a positive note, the redemptions have really slowed down, which is a great sign for our burn initiative going forward. So let's cut all the nonsense and let's talk about the business that we have brought you here to look at, which is Anchor Protocol. Now, when it comes down to the system itself, it was functional pre-crash. It has not been functional since the crash because it's inherently part of the problem that caused the crash. Turning this back on would just turn all of those problems back on. We know that TFL is winding down. They're burning through all of the different assets as they've stated. So what I've gone ahead and I've done is a lot of extensive research. I've gone through court documents and I've got everything that's relevant together. And what we can see is there's 4 wallets that we should be paying attention to. And what we can actually do just to confirm that these are the actual wallets in question is go to the Anchor Protocol document system and take a look at the contracts that have been deployed. And what we can see is a mound of addresses. Going through these, like I said, there's only 4 with assets in it that are worth us pursuing. So what does this mean? Well, this means that we can actually be actionable when it comes down to these funds. So like I said, I went ahead and I started digging very deep. And what I noticed was Anchor is some of the top holders when it comes to USTC. One of the wallets holding 3rd position, another holding 8th, another 12th, and then another down here at around, I think it's 51. So this tells us Anchor holds a considerable amount of USTC and it has not been active since the crash, nor has the wallets. We also know that TFL is going through, as they've stated to us in that X space, burning all of these assets. We know as per the court documents that TFL owns Anchor. We also know this whole situation is time sensitive and TFL only have a certain amount of time to actually go in and deal with the Terra Classic side of things, which historically they are renowned for not helping us, not pitching in and not keeping to agreed timelines. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this wallet list. And what we need to do and what we need to understand is with this wallet list, the wrapped assets are not included in it. And neither are the Anchor Protocol assets either. So this tells us something else. It's associated in the same manner that those wrapped assets are. Let's go ahead and take a peep now at these 4 wallets in question. And what we can see here is the Anchor liquidation queue holding around 163 million USTC. Moving over to the next one would be the Anchor Market wallet holding around 438 million USTC. Going ahead and moving to the next one being the Anchor Overseer wallet around 119 million USTC. And then finally, we have around 9.2 million sat in this Anchor liquidity wallet. What you may have noticed as a consistent variable with each and every one of these is the smart contract at the top. So now what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. And instead, I'm going to be actionable on this situation. So what we have done previously is go ahead and actually burn USTC through contract migration, and that seems applicable to these 4 wallets. And we seem to have all of the relevant information in hand that we would need to make such a decision. But once again, it's not down to me. It's not down to a small group of people. It's down to you. It's down to the validators. It's down to us. It's down to absolutely everyone to come together to collectively make this decision. The fact that we've been through this situation before is actually very beneficial for this situation that is now in hand. And I think this is going to get a lot of people talking, and there could be a slight division in the community when it comes to what I'm going to be proposing. By the time this video comes out, this will be available on Commonwealth for you to go and have your say. Chris Armani in TFL's community wind down space mentioned that TFL's Columbus wallet list had been made public. He also stated that all Terra Classic assets will be destroyed except LFG assets, as TFL has no control over them, and that TFL will burn the assets rather than destroy the keys, although this process could take several months. When we look at the Anchor wallets, they are contract based, which means they can be migrated to a new code via governance in the same manner as Risk Harbor funds. Given TFL's time sensitive wind down and the substantial amount of assets each wallet holds, it is in the best interest of the chain to act swiftly and destroy these funds through a governance decision. Something to note is that Chris states during that space that he can't be 100% certain that someone else in TFL doesn't have access to these wallets, and that burning them would be the best option. So background information. According to document 272, TFL owns Anchor Protocol. It has been inactive since the crash, and each wallet associated has been inactive since. No update was provided on Anchor Protocol directly, but the funds associated with them are Columbus 5 native assets, being LUNC and USTC. So in document 272, it's very specific on the LUNC and USTC that TFL owns. And I quote this section from document 272. The only disposition of defendants' crypto assets that the judgment permits is those transferred to the Terraform bankruptcy estate pursuant to the terms of the judgment. Otherwise, the judgment requires the defendants to burn or destroy private keys in Terraform's possession to the wallets, blockchain assets holding UST, Mira, Luna, Wrap Luna, and Luna 2.0. Duquan's holdings and LFG assets are pursuant to the terms of the judgment, not the remaining Columbus 5 assets TFL has available. Anchor Protocol related assets in question here are USTC and LUNC. And I quote this section from document 272. Quan has consented under the proposed judgment to make an initial $4.7 million transfer to an escrow account within 30 days of the entry of judgment, and to transfer $2.3 million in assets from his Swiss bank account to an escrow account within the same time period. To ensure the maximum recovery for harmed investors, Quan has also agreed to transfer to the Terraform bankruptcy estate within 30 days all crypto assets of LFG and his ownership interest in all Pive crypto asset tokens. TFL has also recently stated, as TFL begins winding down its operations, Proposal 4818 will be the final chain upgrade that they implement. Pursuant to TFL's settlement with the SEC and implementation of its proposed Chapter 11 plan, TFL will no longer have the ability to support future chain upgrades. And this touches on the time sensitivity TFL is subject to when burning through all of the Terra Classic assets, as stated by Chris Armani and ordered by judgment. The settlement prevents TFL or Chris Armani from interacting with LUNC or Luna. So what I'm doing is leaving links to everything that I've gone through as well, so people can actually go in and check for themselves. So as per winding down, TFL has reopened the shuttle bridge, allowing for the redemption of wrapped assets. I quote their tweet: "The bridge will remain open from now until 30 days after the effective date of Terraform Labs Chapter 11 plan, which is estimated to be on or around 30th of October 2024, based on an anticipated September 30th effective date, which is subject to change. After the bridge closes, any user assets still in the contract will be burned, and the bridge will be permanently shut down." So TFL are already committed to this burning process that they've spoken to us about in the space. It's just now time sensitive, and we could also see them in a situation where they simply do not pursue any more burning before the settlement and then their inevitable ejection from crypto. This proposal seeks validator and community agreement to migrate the following Anchor Protocol related contracts to code ID 8508. So we know that this has been successful previously because Frag has gone ahead and done it. We've seen that go through, and all I need to do is really cross the T's and dot the I's with Frag and just make sure on a few different things as to, do we need to do this one by one, or can we just cluster them all together in this contract migration proposal and go ahead and get them all done in one bang? What I do know is TFL has never gone out of their way to help us. Currently, they could go ahead and simply merge the PR request that is available to correct all of these gas issues. But they did go ahead and fix Shuttlebridge within that time. So it shows us they're not willing to cooperate the majority of the time. And a lot of the times it's just damage control, it's crowd control. And I said from the very beginning that they would probably try to slow and hinder the progress of burning to a point of where they're simply just not responsible for it anymore. And that is going to be the case. That is the reality of the settlement and the judgment and everything that is going to be coming in these next few waves. And what we are seeing over on Luna is something called Phoenix Directive taking over. And one of the first things they really pushed towards was burning all of TFL's assets and naming them illicit funds. From our perspective, all we're doing is going in and looking after ourselves. But the beautiful thing of this blockchain is anyone can put an idea forward, but collectively we have to get together and push it through as a whole. If this proposal does pass, it would be almost immediate, as we've seen previously with that last contract migration, which led to the 800 million USTC burn. When I think about the amount of information that was available during that situation and how much information is actually readily available when it comes to the Anchor Protocol funds, is a huge difference. So maybe, just maybe, this will be a very easy thing that the community commits to, considering how we felt with the LFG assets and the fact that they are completely out of our grasp. And the likelihood is we're never ever going to see those come back to the blockchain. This could be a substantial win for us, alongside seeing that 177 million USTC also burn in the Shuttlebridge assets, alongside a possible $250 billion LUNC. Also getting USTC down even more, removing 4 of the top holders, which really just leaves 2 major players on the board when it comes to USTC. The LFG funds are around 1.83 billion, and then Binance are around 2.3 billion currently. So this is serious. This is actually a very positive development. And although this took some time to get together and there could be some hitches, there could be some hurdles, I hope as a community we will be able to get over this as we have done many times before. So I'll leave links to absolutely everything in the description. Like I said, go have your say, go easy on me. I spent a lot of time on it. I'm not a developer and I do miss things. Go in, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and make up your own mind with your own perspective. And aside that, like I was saying at the beginning, drop a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, because trust me, you ain't getting any better content than this in other places where they simply just babble for 8 minutes about nonsense. At least here, you're getting someone who's putting in the time, energy, and effort. And like I said, if you've got LUNC, consider delegating with us. It's going to go a long way, and it's going to keep me here on scene, creating content and pushing awesome like this. Guys, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. So